Sorry about that. So anyway, check this out. I've recently been doing, or checking out a lot of different videos on YouTube about atheism. I've only been recently interested in it because I've run into a lot of people at school. Just started going to school again after like freaking 10 years. So anyway, I wanted to refute this. And I did it. I wrote this whole big mess, and I found out that you can only have 500 characters. So instead, to get it all in at one shot, I put it in a video, and so I'm just going to read it because I'm not quite as eloquent off the top of my head as I am when I actually write stuff down. So anyway, here it is. Only recently have I come in contact with a great many atheists since I've started school again. Actually, it's only been, I think, 5, or at least 4 at least. One thing that I noticed was that all of them took the opportunity to belittle me in casual conversation whenever the subject of faith came up. Thus, I have begun to refer to them as atheists masquerading as intellectuals when I talk to my friends. Unfortunately, I've seen this behavior repeated in every atheist video on YouTube that I have seen. It seems there is this desire to portray oneself as intellectually superior to all of us Kool-Aid drinking masses. At first I thought this would be a turn-off to any religious person seeking truth. And then I realized that the best way to win over a lukewarm believer is to demean them with terms like ignorant, bigot, uncivilized, savage, power-hungry, etc., and then get sexy with big words and philosophical critical thinking in order to prove that intellectuals believe A, B, and C. Therefore, I tend to think that this series, and any other video like it here on YouTube, is not meant to be a resource for those seeking answers. Instead, it comes off as proselytizing for the atheist way of thinking. I then wonder, what is the big push on your part to get the word out? Why try to send so many people into confusion and doubt? What is the gain in winning people to your side with the currently employed methods? My intuition says it smells of an agenda just like the faiths that you atheists reject. If this series was cleaned up a little bit, reviewing facts and logic instead of belittling and appealing to one's identity, i.e., all of the Trekkies are going to want to be atheists now that they know that Shatner is an atheist, I would have no place to argue. The problem of the atheist lies here, though. I, as a believer in a faith, have a text, which is my Bible, and you only have the rejection thereof, so all I can argue is the Bible, and all you can do is refute it. I would love to include a bunch of stuff about science and secular history and how those things, and the Bible, and how they mix now, but I don't have the time in this video. I would expect that if you seek to be in a position to argue, that you at least have your head wrapped around the Bible and what is really there, instead of just a Sunday school understanding of it. Personally, my faith did not crystallize until I was about 26, and I'm now 31. You see, it takes time and maturity, and most importantly, a desire, which most don't have, to find solid answers and plant your feet in solid ground that is your faith once they decide to dig deeper into prophecy and especially Genesis 6. Instead of relying on lovey-dovey messages that are espoused from too many pulpits too often. I find it interesting that so many atheists find themselves during their teens and early 20s. I see that as interesting because that's kind of the time that we as humans rebel and reject the authority of our parents, and that's also the time that we tend to linger through the institutions that are basically based on a humanist worldview. I mean, if you look at... I read somewhere, and I can't back this up, unfortunately, that only 5% of clinical scientists or whatever are actually Christians. And so when you as an atheist look through the Bible, you're going to reject it right off the bat. What do you think a bunch of atheist scientists are going to be bringing you? They're going to be bringing you proof that the Bible and everything in it doesn't exist. I'm sorry, when 95% of this... anyway, I'm not going to try and argue that. That's not my point here. Anyway, I think that if this was meant to be a resource, like, I can understand if you were if there were websites and videos aimed at helping homosexuals come out of the closet, that's one thing. And I can understand that if there's a person who is confused in their faith, if you had a resource that was completely unbiased. Unfortunately, no of these videos are unbiased. It just kills me to see this kind of stuff. I don't know. I honestly think if you're truly seeking answers, or if you would like to have a little more ammunition for us Christians, you know what? Check out a guy named Chuck Missler. He's not some dude with a website and serving it from his basement. He was the CEO of like 9 different companies. He's made millions and lost it several times over. You know, he's a smart dude, knows what he's talking about. His website's khouse.org. Check out the 6640 portion of the website, little link on the left. You can stream all of his audio stuff there, and it's all science tied to the Bible. Legitimate science tied to the Bible. The guy brings quantum theory into it, and if you can wrap your head around that, then, dude, more power to you. But this guy references all of his work, and it's basically commentary on science in the Bible. So it's legitimate. It's good. It's good. And things that he references are published work, and when something is contrived, he will tell you that it is contrived and that it is just a theory. So I like him, and I stick with him. So you know what? Go for it. The last thing I have to say is, anytime on most of these atheist videos that I have seen, when Christians, let's say, leave a response to it, usually, for the most part, it is, you know, they're quoting verses from the Bible, and all I see is atheists just going ballistic on them. I see so much rage, hate, anger, whatever. And it is just all over the place. I mean, all over the place. And I will admit, there are a few Christians that kind of explode and go nuts. But for the majority, it's just hate and anger towards Christians. And that's another thing that makes me question what's going on here. My last thought and observation, something maybe that can help you guys along, I don't know. I have yet to meet or witness a humble atheist.